listening to the Bulldog Hour, getting you inside the Wilson football program with weekly game previews, recaps, highlights, and interviews. Now, here are your hosts, Joe Mays and Justin Raffoff.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Bulldog Hour with my co-host, Justin Raffoff. Not on screen tonight, unfortunately. He's here off to the side next to me.
Yeah, I'm here.
But I have some equipment up at the school, at the coach's lair, the Bulldog Den, above the athletic training facility, where they watch film and such. I recorded interviews with our senior players and Coach Doms this week. So a lot of that stuff was left behind, so I don't have to haul it up one more time, since this Wednesday, Justin and I are interviewing your 2024 Wilson coaching staff. We'll sit down with Doug's assistants. We always like to do this interview series every year is always one of our favorite parts, and honestly, it's the most popular episodes we do each year leading up to the new season. Everyone is ready for Bulldog football, and we're ready to kick off the 80th season of the Wilson football team. This is our second episode of our 10th season here at the Bulldog Hour, Justin, and we've got a fun show for everyone tonight. We thank everyone for joining us, and we are now into our weekly show territory, Justin.
It's crazy. August is here. Football is here. I know you had sent me a thing the other day, the Hall of Fame game in professional football, but HEDAC starts tomorrow for these guys.
That's right. In just 12 hours, the 2024 Wilson Bulldogs will be on the field for heat acclimatization week. They've got multiple practices Monday, Wednesday, Friday, a single practice Tuesday, Thursday. They're going to get out there and get adjusted to the heat and humidity.
And as I feel like it's been at least as many years as it has not, the forecast for this week it start out pretty tough.
Not as bad as it could have been.
Not as bad as it could be for that first full week of August. So
I do want to...
That's not me volunteering to take place.
Right, yeah. Well, we got our own Heat Week coming up a week later when middle school football begins, and we have to do an entire week this time as well. That's completely new this season for us. We used to just do 3 days in the first week of our practice, but now we get an extra week of practice to do a full 5-day contingent for our heat acclimatization, and we get started on Monday, August 12th. But tomorrow, Monday, August 5th, all across the state, football and I believe golf gets started, gets underway.
Yeah. Golf will start competitions relatively soon too.
Right.
Like
is that all a daylight thing? Because of courses, like they got to finish their season by mid-October.
Yeah, and like the postseason like extends out, so like getting those things done ahead of time. I think that's a big piece of it.
So we are presented by May's Sandwich Shop. As always, thanks to my dad for the support over our now 10 seasons here. We're excited to get things going. And because we're at the start of a new football season, we're back to needing more sponsors. We're always looking for people to help out the show. So we thank May's Sandwich Shop and, I misspelled it, but our anonymous donor there.
I spotted it, but it was only seconds before you clicked the one, so it was not helpful for me to point it out.
No,
so
I was scrambling to edit these this afternoon, and apparently I deleted one too many S's. So we are up to our one anonymous donor. We've had 5 or 6 or 7 in years past, but we also appreciate anyone who doesn't want to remain anonymous, so we can thank you actually on the show each week. And we've had many of those over the years as well, and we look forward to working with as many local parents, companies, businesses, and alumni have all reached out in the past and have been very helpful, and we thank everyone for that. So our next live show, where Justin and I will be sitting here talking to you, will be next Sunday. Again, that'll be the assistant coach interviews. I will be playing the Coach Dom's interview that I did. It's a full hour long. It's actually an hour and 5 minutes. So I'm just going to hop on here and press play. That'll be this coming Tuesday. So 2 days from now, August 6th, will be the Doug Dom's interview. Normal, find it at bulldoghour.com. Go to the live tab. Check our social media, Facebook. It's on my Twitter account because Twitter has changed. X has changed how they allow live broadcasts to go out. So it's on my Coach Joe Mays account on x.com. And we still have it on YouTube as well. So I know things have changed a little bit, but Bulldog Hour, Wilson Football, Facebook, Twitter X, YouTube, all those places. Regularly scheduled show next Sunday. Assistant coach interviews this coming Tuesday, 2 days from now, will be the Coach Dom's interview, and that's a full hour with Doug. So it's a good one. We got to talk about a variety of topics.
Usually like an hour-long recorded conversation during a 2-hour sit-down.
Right, right. Yeah, he was pressed for time. We went longer than I told him we would, but he was very gracious. We had a great talk, but we didn't get to the non-recorded discussion. Didn't happen this time around. So there were a few things that Justin and I went over back in February that I want to touch on really quickly now for those of you that are not aware. Stadium updates, we mentioned this, I think actually end of last fall, end of last season, we might have brought it up, but this all became approved and initiated between November and February. We touched on it on our season premiere in February, about the stadium being some updates being done there because of new sponsorships at Gursky Stadium, including the press box, UECU, and Instashine Car Wash getting the naming rights to the field. So it'll be Instashine Car Wash Field at John Gursky Stadium. The UECU press box and the turf, as you can see there in my note, was to be replaced this summer. Spoiler, it was replaced. It's just about ready to go.
They started pretty much the day after graduation.
Yeah, and there was still a crew working there on Wednesday when I was up for those interviews, but it was mostly done. There's very little left to be done, so it's right on schedule. Bulldogs football team doesn't need it till August 30th, but I know a variety of other sports and the community use it for many other things, and it should be about ready to accept patrons once again really soon. The schedule, I'm sure everyone's aware by now. Only 4 home games this year, so it's important to get to Instashine Car Wash Field at John Gursky Stadium as often as you can. First game, August 30th at home, Plymouth Whitemarsh. We're going to talk about them again really soon. Game 5 overall, September 20th, Cedar Crest. Game 7, 2 weeks later, Hempfield, October 4th. And then the home finale, which will be senior night, will be October 18th against McCaskey. Now, obviously, there is an opportunity for home playoff games. I don't have the exact dates for those yet, just because PIAA has not officially updated how it's operating. Spoiler, you'll hear on Tuesday Coach Dom's talk about his anticipation that there will be 10 teams in the 6A field this year, which means there won't be a bye for everyone that week after the regular season ends. Depends where your seed is.
10's an interesting number to run a bracket.
So what I think will happen, because Doug and I talk about 1 and 2 having a bye, but I don't think that works out numbers-wise then.
Because you still are at 6.
Right. So what I believe is going to happen is 1 through 6 will have a bye, and 7 will play 10, and 8 will play 9 as play-in games, essentially.
Yeah.
Because then you'll have an 8-team field.
To us, anytime you have fewer games than like team, like there's more teams on bye than playing.
Yeah.
It definitely has a play-in feel, but like, hey, you still make the field, and with those adjustments in the classifications, which is what all those numbers like come back to, is the changes in the alignment based on the 6A classification.
I would anticipate PIAAD3.org, I think is the website, to update this week by the latest next Monday with the start of 2-a-day practices. You got to have that information out there. I know a few years ago, though, we didn't realize there was a bye. We didn't find out till the middle of the season that the playoffs, there would be a bye for District 3 6A teams.
It could have been October.
It was pretty late.
If not, it was the end of September.
But this all has to be submitted to the PIAA, or actually PIAA tells D3, hey, your champion needs to enter our playoffs at this point, and then D3 works backwards.
Yes.
So there could be a Wilson playoff game on or around November 1st. Hopefully there's still a Wilson playoff game on or around November 8th. The District 3 6A title game, I believe, will be around November 22nd, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, depending on locations and availability. It's as last I knew, it's supposed to be a highest seed team still hosts. So, hey,
I feel like they've had success with that the last few years.
And there's less places that want to host.
Right. And as you get close to that Thanksgiving weekend, I think it's even harder to get people to host because, there's just a lot going on. It's tough. So I kind of like the idea of the home team hosting. It just kind of simplifies things a little bit.
Sure. Absolutely. All right. So I mentioned couple of new teams in the non-league slate. We're going to run through these real fast because Justin and I went over them back in February. Cheltenham's not technically a new team. They were a new team last year because they were a weather replacement for Martin Luther King. They are on the schedule this year in game 1. We will play them on the road. It's north of Philadelphia in Wyncote. And, Wilson was able to play them last year in that wacky game where it got moved to Saturday, then delayed on Saturday, then postponed to Monday, and then delayed on Monday. And the game finally came to a conclusion late on September 11th. But Cheltenham returns as game 1 this year. Wilson got that win last year, 40-26. But Cheltenham has been pretty steady program. Just 5 years ago, they were the 5A state runner-up. They're 33-20 over the last 5 years, making the playoffs 3 out of 5 seasons. And, of course, 2020 is in there and doesn't really count for a lot of schools. Either didn't have a full slate or were operating. Some played in the spring. It was really wacky what happened with that. So Cheltenham is game 1. That is on the road. Then our first home game will be against Plymouth Whitemarsh on August 30th. And it is our first ever meeting with Plymouth Whitemarsh. And they are a 6A school this year. They were 5A the last 2-year cycle, so they're right on the border there. Coach Dan Chang's team last year was 9-2 and lost in the District 1 quarterfinals to Westchester Ruston. But they've been a very, very good team the last 5 years, going 40-12, making the playoffs every year but the COVID year where they only played 5 games. But they are, as of late, perennial 9-10 game winners.
Yeah.
And they return a boatload of talent, including their quarterback, 2 significant pieces at running back and receiver. They ran for nearly 3,100 yards last year as a team in 11 games. So you can tell that they are run-oriented, run first. Quarterback is back, but more of a run threat than a pass threat. They want to ground and pound. They want to old school, Gursky type football, run the ball and then run some more, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. That's what Plymouth Whitemarsh has shown of late. Then the last game, or the last new game on the schedule, is against the Nazareth area Blue Eagles. That will be up in Nazareth on September 6th. We're just going to be northeast of Allentown for this one. They're in the Eastern Pennsylvania Conference. Their head coach is Tom Falzone, and his son, a rising junior, has recently committed to Virginia Tech, was it?
I think so.
I think so. They were 12-2 in 2023. They were the D11 champs, and they lost to our good friends at St. Joseph's Prep in the PIAA playoffs. Much like Plymouth Whitemarsh having pretty good last 5 years, well, Nazareth area has actually one up them. They are 49-10 in the last 5 years, including 3 District 11 championships. And we know District 11 pumps out pretty good teams.
No joke.
Including Parkland, the Bethlehem schools.
Right.
So they are a very, very strong program.
That's a tough.
It's a tough draw, and we've got to go there. So. Series history there. We have played Nazareth once before. It was at Gursky Stadium before it was even known as Gursky Stadium. Someone by the name of Jamie Sands accumulated over 200 rushing yards. The Bulldogs overall rushed for nearly almost 500 yards and 7 scores in the 61-21 Wilson victory in 1995. Now, of course, since we last talked about this, Justin, Coach Jamie Sands is no longer with the Bulldogs because he is now head coach for the Boyertown Bears.
Yes.
So good luck.
Congratulations to him.
We wish him the best of luck this season with Boyertown. And I don't like to ruin the interviews that are coming down the pike, but you'll hear Coach Doms on Tuesday say it's in Coach Sands' hands if there's a Wilson-Boyertown head-to-head series coming up in a few years. So that could be a staple of a Wilson non-league slate if Coach Sands can get Boyertown headed in the right direction because they are a 6A school and semi-local.
Yeah.
So and Wilson's had a history with Boyertown, so it would be fun to bring them back onto the schedule. But Justin, I think that's it for now. Is there anything from the last few months that you wanted to say before we roll the player interviews?
Not off the top of my head.
I want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. I will point out, instead of doing this at the end, 80th season, we're doing the alumni flag football game. I think I may have mentioned that back in February. A lot's been posted on social media about it. We have over 50 players coming back. It's Saturday, September 14th. It's the day after the game at Reading. There is no Penn State football game that day, so no excuses about being in State College or having to stay home to watch Penn State. Sorry, I didn't look into the other colleges that are playing around here or whoever you're fandom of. Hopefully you're not a Michigan fan because I feel bad for you. But sorry, Coach Henny. Yeah, so alumni flag football is Saturday, September 14th. We got the planning is we're well on our way. We're getting ready to finalize stuff and kick that off. And we're only like 40 days away from that event, which is crazy to think about. Alumni, coaches, players, athletic trainers, managers, cheerleaders, even if you're not participating at the event, you are invited to the after party, the post-game celebration at Shaler Brewing Company. However, it is a ticketed event, so you do have to purchase a ticket to attend the party at Shaler Brewing. That information can be found at bulldoghour.com or on the Wilson Football social media pages. All right, so let's roll into our senior player interviews now. It's about 25 minutes long, so take a listen to let's see. I talked with 6 of them. It was... Well, I'll let them tell you who they are, and then Justin and I will talk and wrap things up here in about 25 minutes. So without further ado, here we go. First thing, your summer workouts been going, and how was team camp? Feel free to jump in. We don't have to go in order.
I thought it went well. I thought, we really bonded at camp, and we got better at every practice. So I thought it went well.
Yeah, camp definitely made us better. I feel like we needed that.
Yeah, we have a lot of young kids, so camp definitely helped us learn and be able to communicate better as a group.
I felt like camp brought us closer as a team too, not only on the field but outside, like in the dorms and all that. Put us together, which actually helped us on the field to be more like one as a unit.
Yeah, what Brady said. I just feel like camp has upped our chemistry as a team.
Yeah, camp, we played really physical, which I loved, and that was a lot of fun.
Definitely, we've gotten better since spring ball.
Yeah,
Gotten much better.
Yeah, I agree.
We had a lot of spots to fill with young guys, and they're coming along really well. We still got work to do, but overall, I think we're looking pretty good so far.
Coming together pretty well.
Yeah, that senior group that you lost that have moved on, that was a pretty big senior class, a lot of impact players. So it's good to hear that you are filling that with some up-and-coming guys that are members of your senior class as well as the underclassmen waiting their turn. So how about a few takeaways from last season? You've all been in the program for a while now. What was your biggest takeaway from your junior season last year?
For me, a big part was the mental part of it, and like last year we would get a lot of penalties, unnecessary penalties that would kill our drives, and I'm not saying that I was innocent from it because it would be me too, but one thing that I've been working on this summer is trying to stay more calm and not getting those unnecessary penalties that can kill our drives when we need big drives and late in the game to win the game.
I agree with Derek. For me, I would say it's more mental, just mental.
I'd say one of my biggest takeaways from last year is we got to keep our foot on the gas in games. For example, in that Cheltenham game, through the first day we were up 35-0. Second day they came and made it a game. That can't happen. We got to put teams away when they're down and just keep our foot on the gas.
Yeah. To add what Brady said, I totally agree with that. Like, there's some teams last year that I think that we should have had no problems with, and we should have ran right through them. And I think that mentally we went into the game thinking that, and like that we can't have that this year. Like, every game it gotta be a battle, and then when we're up at halftime, then we can talk about putting up the back and whatever.
Yeah, I just feel like there are some times that we should have just killed them, but we just got too comfortable, got too complacent. We just need to keep working them. Like some teams that we just put away, we made it a game when we shouldn't have.
I think sometimes, myself included, we would be like thinking too much. I think we need to play a little looser, and that'll come with just a lot of experience on the field. So
the big takeaway from that for me is a lot of it mental work, whether it's play related or keeping emotions in check, maybe staying focused. One thing I heard last year during his interviews, it was a new thing for me, and I'm interested to see if it's still continuing, is you as a team, as a group, were working with Mrs. Kama, the sports psychologist. Is that something that's still continuing? Have you seen her recently?
no, she hasn't, but it did help last year.
It definitely helped.
Definitely helped,
For sure.
Okay, so has made an impact. So, because Justin and I talked with her at our season premiere for this season 10 of our show. She was our interview, and we sat down with her for an hour and talked. It was very, very interesting, very informative, and the players spoke very highly of her last year. Now moving on, looking ahead to this year. Wilson has a very strong tradition of one-year starters, people that bide their time, wait until their senior year, and they finally step onto the field and make a name for themselves. Who can you pinpoint anyone that you think could be that guy this year that maybe hasn't played as much as wanted to, or isn't as known commodity to the community as he is on the team? Who's going to step up and make a name?
Right here. Last year, AG got an injury at camp, and he's back this year, ready to roll.
Yes, sir.
He's been pretty dominant,
Yeah, we're all excited to have him.
Yeah, we're excited.
He's going to help us out big time this year.
Big time.
For sure.
And then if I had another one, I'd say Mike on offense.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Michael
Oh, for
Glover
sure.
on
For
offense
sure.
has looked very, very good this
He
offseason.
played defense last year, but he's going to help us on offense for sure. This
Michael Glover.
year. I think a young buck that will help us is
Avery.
yeah, but-
Avery, left guard. Left tackle.
Monty.
tackles.
Monty's
Monty
looking
for
pretty
sure.
good.
Yeah.
Honestly,
running back and defense, safety.
Him and Chase hurt.
And we lost other than Chris, we lost a decent amount of backers.
Yeah, I think
EJ's been
Ethan's
good.
gonna-
Ethan's been
Ethan Harding. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Ethan
Ethan
Harding.
Harding.
Oh, my God. Beast at camp. Beast at
Yeah,
camp.
and EJ.
and
EJ,
EJ, yeah.
yeah, looking pretty good.
We got a lot of speed coming off the edge this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of speed.
back to offense, I'd say both our tackles, Avery,
And just
And Jesse.
Marinara, and Jesse, they were looking really well. Like, they're doing really well in camp.
Sick, good edges.
They've
Pretty
came
good.
along quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jesse,
together.
talking about Etchberger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jesse
Jesse
Edgeberger.
He spot started and at times made some
appearances,
appearances
yeah,
last
for
year.
sure.
Big
So he's the
games.
right tackle right now.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
he's looking.
Yeah.
All right. So we got Derek and Anthony. Well, let's talk about offensive line then. So we lost 4 starters, I believe, are
Yeah,
gone
we
from
lost
last year. So
both
filling
of
in
them,
a lot. Derek, you're the lone man back that was here last year. So you talked about Avery Manara, left tackle,
Yeah.
Jesse Etchberger, right tackle. Who's the center and guard? Who are we missing?
So
I'm
we
guessing
have-
Anthony is one of them.
He's center, and
Okay.
I'm the right guard.
And junior, that's what I thought. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
nice to have 3 of you here. So you got 3 seniors, and you're all on the interior of the offense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is fun. But we definitely we have kids rotating. Like at camp, we have kids rotating a bunch. Cameron Quinones, he helps out. Jay-Z helps out. Santi, he's a senior. He gets some run. But it's been pretty good. O-line's been pretty good. Communication
Oh, yeah, for sure.
needs to step up a little bit. Like we just need to call everything out. Can't over communicate. You can only under communicate. And but I think we've been playing pretty physical. Still some things we need to work on for sure though.
Now, how quickly in the winter workouts, spring workouts especially, was Coach LCD able to narrow it to you 5? Have you been together for a while now, or is it a recent development?
Yeah.
I would say he ran that line week 1 of spring ball, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Pretty much.
it's been pretty much since spring started. In the winter we don't really do much team stuff, so we didn't really know. He would just put random kids out there. So but then once spring came around, it's been pretty much the same group. But like I said, those kids are rotating, so one play he'll be the center, next play Santi will be in, and then it's just switching it up.
Good. hopefully we'll get to talk to Asante and a few other seniors in the future. But obviously, I focus on the trenches because I was an offensive lineman and that's what I coach. But I'm not going to forget the skill guys either. We got a couple of pass catchers, maybe some pass throwers as well. Maddox, Brady, Christo, why don't you walk us through where we stand quarterback and skill position wise? What are we looking at this year?
For me, it's just like the process. I'm working at quarterback. I'm getting all the first team reps. But yeah, I'll just say it's a process. I'm getting better every practice, and I'm happy to be right next to like Coach Henny and Coach Palm teaching me. So it's just a process, and I'm up for the process.
Yeah, and on offense, we have guys that can do it all. I mean, this guy right here plays quarterback, and then we can bring in Mason Young at quarterback, throw him in a receiver, and our offense flows exactly the same, just how we want it. And it works no matter who you throw where. Everybody knows what they're doing. We're all figuring it out.
I'd say we have a pretty young wide receiver core, except for Maddox and Justin and some other seniors. But the wide receiving core, though, I think as the season goes on, they're going to get better. And our running backs are also underclassmen, but they're all solid with Ethan, Carell, and Monty, and anyone who's an EJ. So, and then the tight ends, we have a couple tight ends who are older. So, and Mike, who's
Mike's older.
He is basically a senior.
And then back to receiving wise, I would say I'd look out for Jaden Carpenter this year. I think he could have some big plays.
If Chase Herb would get in, I think he could be very good as well.
Yeah, and Eli Dean.
Oh yeah,
Eli
He
Dean
could help us.
Definitely.
Coming back from that injury.
Peter.
Yeah, definitely. Peter
When he shows
Kalfala.
Peter Kalfala. He'll do his thing.
So you bring up the tight ends, and obviously, Brady, you've been at the spot for a long time now. You're entering your fourth year here. Christo, you're not unfamiliar with the position either, and you mentioned Mike Glover, only up to be a sophomore. And we're missing him here today, Cam Zulinger. That's four guys. Are we going to see any 4 tight end packages at all this year? Is there anything special being developed?
Might be in the works. We're going to have to watch and find out.
You can't put it out there, man.
We're going to have to watch and find out.
Well, it was something that came up to Justin and I as we were talking in the offseason, and briefly got to talk in the spring, especially 7-on-7 with Coach Henny and Coach Palm about the depending on how the quarterback situation shakes out, you could have 4 very experienced and very talented tight ends. It'd be a shame not to be using them all at the same time because that would provide some matchup nightmares. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. So let's look ahead individually now. How about aspirations for the future? Do any of you want to play college football? Are we looking at another college sport? And have any of you made any of those types of decisions, your future educational location, or if you're going to be playing collegiately, football or otherwise? So, Junior, why don't we start with you?
I've been thinking about playing college football. I've been to some camps with Derek here. I've been thinking of. I'm just not sure which college I would like to go to.
I'm looking to play college baseball, and I've been talking to a couple schools, but I'm still uncommitted, so the search continues.
Okay.
Yeah, same. I'm trying to play college football. I'm uncommitted still, so I'm just looking for a school. Senior year's coming up, so that should help.
Honestly, whatever comes about, I'll determine it when it happens. Honestly.
Yeah, I'm trying to play college football. I'm hoping to play at the D1 level. I've got schools talking to me, but still, like Christo and Derek and Anthony says, the search continues.
You got an offer, though, recently,
I
right?
did.
Where was that to?
Ithaca College.
You got some connections up there, both
Yep.
Wilson and other Berks County guys up there, so
Yeah,
definitely can take in information from that program. Yeah. Maddox, what about you?
My aspirations are to play college basketball, but I'm open to playing college football. So but I'm still uncommitted and I'm still looking.
All right. Staying focused personally and in the future, do you all have an idea, if we're going off to college, what about futures after sports? You have a degree, a discipline that you're thinking of pursuing when you get to the next level?
I was thinking of going to college for business, trying to look for things in the business area, the accounting area, things like that.
Yep.
I intern at the Reading Fighting, so that's a career path that I find interesting and that I want to do. So I'll probably do business as well, marketing maybe.
I want to go study exercise science and be a strength and conditioning coach.
Okay.
I go to school right now for heavy equipment operating, so I'm going to probably join a union and pursue that.
Okay.
I'm looking to study sports management in hopes I want to one day become a professional sports agent.
Okay.
I want to study criminal justice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
This guy want to fight crime.
FBI agent.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah.
All right. We're staying personal, but we're getting back to football. What aspect of your game do you think you've most improved since the end of last season?
I think I've improved in my run game, just forcing them off the ball, getting that first quick step in. I think I've just improved in my run game more.
I would say that I would guess playing loose. I'm a little looser from last year, so just being able to like read the lineman, read pass, run.
For me, I've always been my flexibility is terrible, so that was a big part for me this off season. I would say I got a little bit more flexible and quicker off the ball, and yeah, I feel good when I play now.
I have to agree with Junior. Having a quick first step is definitely key for the interior guys because there's very big guys in front of us, so we have to get them off the ball as quickly as we possibly can.
Yeah, I feel like since last year was my first year playing linebacker, I feel like I'm playing more loose, like what Christo said. I'm starting to see things better. I'm recognizing it and then attacking it much quicker than I did last year.
For me, I would say IQ and, just being able to, read a defense.
All right. How about an individual statistical goal? We'll get the team stuff here shortly, but is there something, I know offensive linemen especially, it's tough to worry about that unless someone's tracking pancakes for you, but is there something that stands out offensive, defensively, special teams that you have a personal goal you'd like to attain this season?
Honestly, just on the offense side, I'm looking to get a couple pancakes, it wouldn't hurt. For defensively, just a couple tackles here and there. Hoping to get a sack, maybe.
Well, if you're doing your job right on the defensive line, it makes these other guys like Christo and Brady look better. So.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, we got a strong defensive line, so if they can take up blockers, and they're going to have to be double teamed, then that'll open up some tackling opportunities for me and Brady. So to help the team to get a bunch of tackles when we have the chance.
Yeah, obviously I want to maul people on offense, but then on defense, my goal, I want to pick six so bad.
You want to pick six?
I want to pick six so bad.
Is that because we're not running lineman pass for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm running with the skill kids now. I should be really getting the ball.
Yeah. Well, I don't really play defense that much, but on offense, whether I'm running a double team with Derek or Junior, I just want to take a true double team and we're going to drive that guy. If we're on the 5-yard line, we're going to take him to the buses. We're going to take that kid to the buses. Oh, man, I'm so excited to just destroy someone. It's going to be great.
Like Christo said, these three are going to open up the holes, so that's going to make it easy for us linebackers. My goal is to get multiple 10-tackle games. And, Mace, do you know the single-game tackle record?
Yeah, I believe it's 15. It's right around the mid-teens area. Yeah. Ike Schonauer set that.
I'm breaking that this year.
In a playoff.
I'm breaking it this year. I'm telling you, I'm breaking it.
Hey, that's exactly what I want to hear. I want to hear lofty goals. This individual.
I'm going to hold that record.
That's a good one, Brady. It's a good one. All right, Maddox, how about you?
My goal is to win.
It's a good goal.
Great goal.
Just win.
That's right.
That's all that matters.
So one of the big components of winning is having good leadership. So this offseason, once the clock hit zeros at Cumberland Valley in November, got a day or two to maybe celebrate with the seniors what they were able to accomplish those last few years. But then it's moving on. After the holidays, I know you guys get started right away looking towards your senior year, even though you're just only halfway through your junior year. Who has stepped up over the last 6 months or so? Who's going to lead this team this year, player-wise?
This guy right here.
Derek.
Big D.
Derek has stepped up as a leader, taking over Logan or Dendy Spy as the leader. I think Derek's looking to be a good leader this year.
I would also say Cameron Zonger, too. He's really stepped up.
I wouldn't say, I would say all the seniors have a say in, the whole team because, it's not one person has the whole thing, but, we're working well together, making sure chemistry is good and keeping it that way.
So we have a bit of a different non-league slate this year. So we've got a couple of teams that you might not be as familiar with. Do any of I'm not really counting Mifflin. We know about Mifflin. They're technically non-league, but huge rivalry. We'll talk about them in a little bit. But I want to focus on their first 3 weeks. Got to play Cheltenham last year, opening with them this year. But then on the road this time, then you're welcoming in Plymouth Whitemarsh. Wilson's never played them. And then going to Nazareth. Wilson hasn't played them since the mid-'90s, and it's only been one time before. So what kind of problems and issues arise from being unfamiliar with the team when you're going into a game? Is there anything that stands out that makes it more or less difficult?
We really don't know what we're really getting into unless we find some film on them. Like, we're going to have to kind of make a game plan ourselves a little bit, but we'll definitely make it work.
For me, I'm always confident in our coaches that they're going to have us ready to go have a good game plan for us when we play every team. So I'm not very worried about just because it's a new team on the schedule. Like, we haven't played them in a while. I'm not worried about that because I know we'll be ready with our coaches.
And I'm confident our first and second team guys will do their job and watch a lot of film when they can, and we'll figure out other teams' offenses, other teams' defenses, like tendencies, and we'll figure all that out.
Yeah, I agree. I just think, we're going to come prepared and we're going to come to play.
As long as we know what we're doing, we can definitely adjust to them.
Yeah. I trust the coach's game plan, but in reality, whoever lines up across from us, we're going to be ready to go at them. So
Definitely.
Well, they're definitely three strong programs. Over the last 5 years, they've all won multiple district titles, played in state semis, and I actually have a state title appearance in there as well. So 3 big-time programs to kick off your season. The other thing I want to talk about schedule-wise is only 4 home games this year with the way things shook out. What do you guys have to say about that? Only getting to play at Gursky 4 times. Unless, playoff games can still be hosted, but regular season, 4 games on Gursky.
I don't got a problem with that.
Yeah.
I like walking into the other team's trap, taking it over, if you know what I mean.
Definitely. Yeah.
All right, there.
I mean, obviously, seniors, we're only going to get to play 4. We only have 4 confirmed final games at that field. And some of us, we've been playing there 4 years, some 3, and either way, that's our home field. And to only have 4 games.
Just got to make it the best.
Yeah.
Sucks, yeah.
We're not losing any of those 4 games.
it could kind of motivate us to get a home playoff game.
Definitely.
So what would you say, individually speaking now, is your most anticipated game? Which one on those 10 games we're getting, for sure, which one stands out as you're most looking forward to? I know the coach speak is game 1. I know you're on Cheltenham. But you know the 10 teams you're playing. Which one stands out as of interest to you?
For me, obviously, Mifflin's that's the rival, but Township, they can't. They get me so mad like that.
I would have
Townships, for sure.
I would have to agree with Derek and say Township.
On top of both of those, I'd say Hempfield.
Yeah.
Because last time Hempfield came in here, they beat us and took the LL away from us.
Sure.
And it's not happening again.
I'm going Governor Mifflin. I absolutely despise those kids. And I just wait.
I agree with AG. Just excited for that game because we're going to crush them.
That's my guy. Yep, that's right.
And we're going to crush them at their field.
That's right.
Always better to beat Mifflin because they want to beat us. And also, another game is Plymouth Whitemarsh. My dad's alma mater, so I love the show.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, we're taking them down for Scott.
Yep.
I didn't realize that. All right. That's cool.
We got to
That's a
show him
nice
that he
link
made the
there.
right choice. Come to my mom's high school.
Very good, very good. Let's see. Where were we here? All right. Well, what are your team goals for this year? What wins, losses, league championships? Is there anything else like that you can't quantify in that way? Is there anything else you want to see this team accomplish outside of the wins and losses at the end of the day?
I just want to see us become like a strong unit, like cut up like the nonsense I practice and just like become one, not be so about yourself. Just become together and dominate.
Obviously, main goal is win LL, win district, win state, all that. But like AG said, I want practice to be smooth, no problems, nothing. Everyone's focused, ready to go. Everyone knows that we have one task in mind, and that's win on the Friday night.
I think we need to keep building relationships, which we're doing well. Go to Shady Maple, eat some good food.
I'd say one thing on the field. I think this is going to happen, but something I hope happens, and it's a goal. We're going to have a high-powering offense this year. We're going to put up a lot of points on those scoreboards.
We're going to run the ball.
And we're going to have a shutdown
Run
defense.
the ball.
Yep. Another thing on defense, Like, I want our energy to be through the roof. Like, if someone's making a good play, not only do they have that energy, I want all 11 guys with that same energy.
The whole team, we complement good energy. We
Sideline included, everybody.
we are going to be
I
loud.
want to bring that energy.
Like Coach Walber says, we don't want teams that want to play us again.
Yeah. We're gonna
Has there
pack the house.
been a focus from the coaching or from you guys as seniors talking about not claiming the league championship the last 2 years? Has that been a focus of Brady, Derek? I know you were freshmen last time. Wilson won Section 1 in 2021, but Township's been a thorn in your side. Has that been a motivational focus for the leadership or the coaches so far this offseason?
I would 100% say, like, I can vividly remember LCD and Zerby. We had a lineman workout in the winter, and LCD like kind of ripped into us, saying like, we haven't won the LL past 2 years. That's just not how Wilson football is, and I totally agree with him. Like, LL got to be back in the loan this year, and that's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree with Derek. Because we know we're right there, and we know we can win it, so it's really motivated us.
And the coaches have been telling me and Derek, you guys won that when you were freshmen.
They
That
say
doesn't
it
count.
don't count.
So we're going to go out seniors with an LL chip.
Yeah.
Hopefully more.
Definitely more.
Well, that's what everyone wants to see. It's actually been it's a unique situation for Wilson because Wilson's used to winning one at least every other year. It's been, you guys go back to the 70s, and it's been 3 years since Wilson hasn't won a league championship. So I know everyone is hoping for your best this year, and we know that you and the coaches will be ready for every team on that schedule. All right, last things here as we wrap up. We talked about this a little when I mentioned senior one-year starters earlier, and you dropped a few names. But just quickly go through a little bit more. Who should everyone be excited to see on offense or defense this year? A player that stands out, maybe one that could be a returning starter, but just someone that you think is going to really ball this season.
I think. Go ahead.
I would say Corell Akings.
Yeah.
I just thought he's gotten more physical, faster, and I just think he'll have a great year this year.
And he's going to get to the yards to get
to
to the
the
touchdown.
Like Maddox said, Corral last year, I think one of his biggest problems was just his confidence. Like, he lacked a lot of self-confidence. I think last year he could have been physically capable of doing more than he did, but this year I think that he's really ready to roll. Another person, Monty Greer, I think he's going to be very good for us. He's in the backfield with Monty too, and then defensively, EJ Burnback and Ethan Harding at linebacker. I think they're pretty dangerous there.
Yeah.
I agree with Derek. Ethan Harding, he's really dangerous off the edge. Speed, power, he's got it all.
I think one more guy that none of us have talked about, younger guy, hasn't played. He's a freshman. Monty's little brother, Damien.
That's who I was going to say.
I think Monty's little brother, Damien, could help us out at corner this year if we need help.
He made some crazy plays at the 7v7.
Not even corner, but like special teams. He's very
All over.
big
All
piece
over.
for us.
So far, whether it's been at high school these last few years or if it stretches down to middle school and Little League, what's been your favorite Wilson football memory?
That's a great question.
Oh, really good question.
Man.
I think
For me, I would probably say my favorite memory of Wilson football is zero period, because you wake up first thing in the morning, you get to lift and go out of your mind. Like, that was just the best part of Wilson football for me.
I would agree with Derek, just waking up in the morning, getting the lift in, being with your guys. It was just so fun.
I would say, other than what these two said, back in the Lincoln Park days, Lincoln Park and Van Reed combined practice. Me and Derek ran a million sumo drills in a row.
Oh, million. We ran a million and two there. That's definitely good.
With Pop
I
in
mean,
the truck.
Like, my guys from Lincoln Park, Brady. I mean, it's basically the only guy that's here right now. I mean, we've been together since we were small.
6.
Now we're going to be seniors, and we're going to go out with a bang. I hope.
Here we are.
For me, I'd have to say, and it's an interesting one, the first time I've ever ran onto the field, it was the craziest feeling I've ever felt. It was 2 years ago against Roman here at home. Packed crowd.
It's like I had goosebumps.
Oh my
running
gosh.
out.
You wouldn't expect, like, from the bleachers, you wouldn't think you wouldn't know what it feels like. But
I would agree with Christo, just high-fiving everybody in the circle, just running in, seeing everybody there, just surreal feeling.
Yeah, if I had to pick one more, it'd be freshman year against Central Dauphin. they threw me in for a 2-point conversion. I got it. That was one of the craziest feelings ever. The fans chanting, "He's a freshman." There was nothing like that one.
Yeah, surreal experience.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they can hear us too much, but I'm going to ask you a specific question about a coach in the room next door. So don't feel like I'm putting you on the spot too much. What's it like to play for Coach Doms?
It's fun.
It's great.
I mean,
You never know what's going to come about.
I mean,
He knows everything.
He's a legend around here.
He's in like every
He's a great coach.
He knows what he's talking about.
When he says something, you listen.
He's a great teacher. Like, just in general, he's a good life
He's just
coach.
a great guy in general. Like, you can talk to him about anything and he'll talk to you. And
He's always there for you.
He cares about his players, and I think one of his biggest qualities is that he can be your worst enemy on the field, but as soon as you get off that field, he's your best friend. He's a great coach.
Do you guys have any pregame routines or superstitions that if something doesn't happen or you don't do something, listen to something, see someone, does it throw off your vibe?
For me, I like to just eat a lot of junk food before games. Get my energy level up. So yeah.
For me, my mom always sends me one song a day before the game. It doesn't matter what song it is. It could be an old one from Steve Miller Band, Journey, and she'll send it to me, and I listen to that for most of the bus ride.
I kind of just put the music on loud in my ears and just chill.
like that. Yeah, I just chill,
Yeah.
Oh,
Is that it, Derek? I feel like that's a lie.
Check the
Let's
trash
hear
can.
it.
He got his push-ups in for his palm. That's
Check the trash can.
It's got to look good before it goes out.
Yeah, I don't know. I get pretty anxious before games. I'll throw up some games, and other games I'll piss my pants.
That is
Josh Allen.
not a lie. That is very true.
that is fact.
Not only does it just piss his pants before
Usually
games.
during the anthem, because it's just like I just want to rip someone's head off.
Everyone's gonna look at you now during the
I know,
anthem.
bro.
No one's gonna touch you.
Addicts was looking at me.
Got a kid down there with
I don't know,
yellow
Christo,
stainless
can you
pants.
follow that up? I don't know.
No, I just throw my headphones on and go sit up there in the bleachers and lay down. It's not as
Junior.
entertaining.
Usually I take a lemonade from the pregame meal, have that a little later, and it gets me going. Of course.
All right. A lot of you, not all of you, but a lot of you, grew up in the program. You talked about Van Reed Lincoln Park. You've been here through middle school. Do you have a specific high school player you remember watching when you were out there, lining the field for you guys to run on? Who do you remember watching growing up if you were here at the Wilson School District?
So my neighbor is Jake Gaiman, and he played at Wilson. He was a receiver, so I always watched him playing. But a lineman that I watched when I was younger was Big Jeff. He was dominant on D-line, and yeah, I loved watching him. Made hella tackles.
Beast.
Yeah, growing up, I had Grayson going through this. So I always watched Grayson. I think one of my favorite high school players of all time was Dusty Miller. That was my guy.
I didn't grow up playing Van Reed or Lincoln Park, but I always remember watching Avante Lockhart.
Brian Wright, too. Bode.
Oh, yeah. Junior Joseph.
Yeah.
Vanino still comes in every now and then.
Yep.
Yeah. He was a dog.
Yeah, I always love asking that question because I love hearing the throwback names, and now those names are only going back to about 2012 to 2016.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel that long ago, but 8, 10, 12 years ago now.
Yeah.
Dean Ferreras.
Jeff McGrilly.
We weren't
Watching Jeremy Paul.
Jeff McGrilly.
This one has
some
a
film.
chance
75 years
to.
ago.
There's just 2 questions left. This last one always gets people riled up because of the responses. A lot of people expect those that grew up around here to be certain fandoms, but we don't always get that. And sometimes we get the opposite fandom. So, who are your favorite NFL and college teams?
My favorite NFL team is Los Angeles Rams.
Where does this kid even come from? You live in Pennsylvania. Okay. What does that mean?
I know yours. Yours is weird.
Aaron Donald, is that why?
Yeah.
I mean, me and Christo are Philadelphia Eagles fans.
Yes.
I mean,
For sure.
I
We're
knew that
normal.
would come. It always comes up.
We bleed green.
we are normal.
But then you have Derek.
We're
I know
normal.
who Derek
I'm a
likes.
Cincinnati Bengals fan, and a Georgia fan right here.
Yeah.
Go Georgia.
Eagles
Yeah,
are basically the
I'm a
Bulldogs.
Pittsburgh Steelers fan and a Coastal Carolina or Tennessee. college football.
Now, how did you get hooked on Coastal Carolina?
I mean, you can ask Christo. In middle school, we always had a dream of going and being two-sport athletes for football and baseball at Coastal.
Hey,
And the
very
field, I
interesting
mean,
dream.
the teal field.
Teal field.
My favorite NFL team is the New Orleans Saints. And
Saints.
Yeah.
All right, where did the Saints come from?
I just grew up watching Drew Brees.
Okay.
I always loved Drew Brees. And then favorite college team is Penn State.
Penn State.
Yeah, Penn State.
Penn State, Georgia. What about anyone else? Penn State, Christo,
Yep.
Yeah, Penn
Junior
State.
Penn State. Anthony, any favorites in college?
I mean, I go to a couple of Penn State games here and there. I mean, it's pretty fun, but I mean,
He's a wreck, Raven.
So before I get to the last question, just to wrap up things with Wilson, actually, Anthony, I'm going to ask you a question. Where did you get that shirt? What's the connection? That's an old shirt, so.
this shirt.
It's not even a shirt.
Yeah, but
So Coach Palm played. Got it from, I believe, my uncle Adam.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
Adam
figured it was a
Grelli.
familial connection because that's like, I want to say around 97.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a very old shirt.
All right, so last thing. What is your message to the fans and the community on what they can expect from you and your team this upcoming season?
Bring your popcorn. It's going to be a
gonna be
show.
a movie.
It's going to be a
Very
movie.
physical.
Gonna put on a
Very
show.
physical.
Yes, sir.
Bunch of tackles, bunch of tutties.
Some big
Big
plays.
kids.
Loud team.
We're gonna
Between
pack the stadium.
Between the whistles, we're gonna be dogs. We're gonna dominate.
We're going to be a team you won't go while playing it.
Be ready right away to see Cam Cook light a kid up on
Kickoff. Hitman
I
Cam.
did see that a lot last year. I remember one at Hempfield where people just weren't
think he had-
sure if he was getting up.
Yeah, two that
He had
We're-
two.
Yeah,
back-
yeah, I think you're right.
We're gonna be foot on the throat every game,
Oh, yeah.
every second. Just dominance.
Never letting up.
Foot on the pedal.
Fans are
all
gonna
the
be
time.
excited to come watch the Dogs this year.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hope so.
All right, well, guys, thank you so much for joining me for this first interview of the senior players for Season 10 of the Bulldog Hour. Justin and I will talk to each of you after your Bulldog wins this year, and we'll catch a few other seniors hopefully soon as well. But we've got to get ready to talk with Coach Dom. So good luck with Heat Week coming up and the start of two-a-days, and we'll see you on August 23rd in Cheltenham.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so that was the 2024 senior player interviews of the guys I got to talk to so far to date. I apologize if the audio wasn't working there quickly at the beginning. You just missed them introducing themselves. Hopefully most of you know who they are, but it was great to talk with Junior and Christo and Derek and Anthony, Brady and Maddox, all seniors that look to play big time, big important pieces on the team this fall, and I think you can tell that they're ready for the season. Don't have a lot to add. I think we covered a lot earlier in the show, and then with the players there, hopefully everyone enjoyed those interviews and the insight that they gave to you. Some great moments, some revealing moments for sure,
Yes.
but a lot of fun. They were a great group to talk with.
Yeah, it's always fun to kind of hear from them, especially like some of them we've seen around and have been around for a few years, and some are really maybe last year or even this year starting to really kind of come into much bigger roles. So it's exciting to kind of get their take on like parts of that journey and kind of what they're expecting, what they're looking forward to this upcoming year.
Absolutely, and you heard me say at the end, and I said it at the end of the interviews with the players, but I said it earlier in the show, we will have Coach Dom's interview coming up this week on Tuesday evening. I will be running that probably right around our normal time here at 6:30. This will be our normal time, 6:30 to 7:30 every Sunday. There may be a Saturday thrown in there occasionally, depending on our schedules, but more often than not, Sunday evening, 6:30 to 7:30 will be Bulldog Hour each and every week. Special this week, Tuesday, August 6th, will be episode 3 of season 10, and that will be the hour-long interview with Coach Doug Doms, and then we'll be back next Sunday, August 11th, for our interviews with Wilson football coaching staff, all of Doug's assistants. So good luck to the team as they embark on heat acclimatization practices tomorrow. If you want some more football right now, you can check out my LNP, LL League Media Day photo album. Went down on Friday. They actually had a room for me. It was pretty cool to have my own setup. I didn't actually have to do any interviews because I had already talked to the players that were there and Coach Doms. So I wandered around and tried to take some behind the scenes photos. I have, Justin, if it ever works out that you are around to join me at that, I thought it would be cool if they're going to give us a room, if we could grab the other LL coaches and just real fast, like 5 minutes, just ask them a few questions, about their team, about their games with Wilson in the past. Because I saw Mark Evans there talking with Doug, and I was like, what if I walk over and just be like, hey, Mark, can I have a few minutes?
Right.
I just used my phone, like that's everyone else was doing that too.
Right.
So
well, and there's some that I definitely think would. I think there's some that would.
George wasn't there.
I think there's some that would be a little more hesitant, but I think some definitely would.
Yeah. So George Eager wasn't there from Hempfield. He coached at Wilson for 2 years. One of his assistants were there, so I'm wondering if he had something else going on. Right. Saw Mark. I know Nicholas Lambros has taken over at Cedar Crest. Trying to think if I could have easily talked to Troy at Reading. I talked with Troy for a bit. He was wearing Ghostbuster socks, which was awesome. He had a great story behind that. And they were the first team that I got to see and speak with. So I talked to Troy, one of his assistant coaches, with Paul Roberts and Jim from Spotlight on Burke Sports. Yeah. Then I had a room next to Mike Drago. Got to talk with Jeff Reinert. We're going to be trying to get all of those people on the show throughout the season. Looks like we're lining up Jeff and Mike to come on and do a season preview episode this year instead of a season recap episode that we were doing.
Well, that's kind of nice
because
then we don't have to roll the dice on what's happening the week before, or the couple days before, or what
Phillies playoff baseball.
Yes.
Yeah. Jeff was besides himself.
Although I wouldn't want to be sitting down with Jeff right now.
Oh no, that's what I mean. Talking to him on Friday, he saw me walking down. And he's just like, I'm not sleeping, Joe. It's like, I understand, Jeff. I understand.
He sent out a tweet a few weeks ago now that was just like, it was one of the games where the Phillies blew it, but then they came back and won, and he had written it off, but he just owned it. He was just like, look, I know I was wrong. I live and die by every pitch with this team. And I'm like, you know what? Hey, as long as you own it, I get it. I understand.
Yep. Well, Phillies won today, so we're all happy about that.
Hey, it's a sign of good things to come.
But we're on to football now. I think that pretty much covers it here. There'll be many things coming up over the years. Oh, I know what I wanted to mention. The Wilson Football Parents Organization has their pig roast fundraiser coming up. I promised I would mention that. I'll make sure I get a graphic up again. I posted it on my page in Bulldog Hour. I wanted to mention it on the show here as well for those of you sticking with us and listening here at the end of the show. So check out the Wilson Football Parents Organization. There's a flyer for their pig roast, their beer fest. It is over across from Burke's Catholic. It's, I believe, if you buy a ticket ahead of time, it's $50. It's $60 at the door. It's all you can eat. I believe all you can drink then, too. I think that's all provided. Again, there's a flyer on Bulldog Hour's social media, so check it out there. I will post it again to advertise ticket sales for them. It's a huge fundraiser for them. I think it's the biggest one they do all year. It's the second version of this event. They've done others before, but it was like a walk up and at people's homes. Yeah. This is the second straight year they're doing it like a big way at a building, and they're going to be celebrating 80 seasons of Wilson football. I'm loaning a whole bunch of my collection to Lauren Peterson is collecting that to put on display. So there's going to be some stuff to check out and good food, great cause. Support the team. So if you're a parent or a fan of a player or of the team in general, make sure you get a ticket and go to their fundraiser on Friday, August 16th. Again, the flyer is up right now on the Bulldog Hour on Facebook and Twitter, and I will repost it again. I don't think I can post it on the official Wilson football social media because of the alcohol content, so that's why I've been keeping it on the private channels, but I wanted to mention it. It's a great time, so check that out. $50 gets you in to the Wilson Football Parents Organization pig roast. Anything else, Justin?
Just along those lines, thank you to InstaShine Car Wash for running the fundraiser just the other day.
Yes.
For the football program as well.
Yes, Andrew and Barbara Rowland, Andy, obviously Wilson football alumni, playing in the alumni game on Saturday, September 14th. They own InstaShine Car Wash, the namesake for the field now at John Gursky Stadium. They also just did the fundraiser. $5 per car wash is going to the Wilson football program.
And I saw they were just involved with Minithon fundraiser.
They got flocked.
Right. So, just seeing, they are huge supporters of everything Wilson. And so just wanted to kind of give them the shout out there as well.
Yes, thank you very much for reminding me about that. Both fundraisers, past and future, to talk about here. And, I'm sorry. Gary mentioned that the pig roast is Saturday the 17th. I said Friday the 16th. My apologies. So the pig roast is Saturday the 17th. So, again, the night of the scrimmage in the morning, hang out down in Coatesville, watch this team for the first time on the field, get accustomed, and then head to the pig roast on Saturday, August 17th. So thank you for that correction. I will have an image up on the pages again with information on how you can buy tickets. There's a QR code to get you to the website. I think I actually pasted the direct link in the post as well. I will repost that, and on the show Tuesday and next Sunday, I will have all that information for you to splash up on the screen. So date, time, and cost and location are all right there for you to see. But I think that's it for us on episode 2 of the Bulldog Hour's 10th season. Thank you for watching and listening, and we'll be back again Tuesday with Coach Doms and next Sunday with his coaching staff. So for Justin Raffoff, I'm Joe Mays. Until next time, remember, go Bulldogs.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Bulldog Hour. Want more Wilson football? Follow the show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and SoundCloud, or visit www.bulldoghour.com. The Bulldog Hour is a featured program on jmnjrradio.com.